A lot of AI gaslighting going on, so I'm going to tell you what the research shows from a data perspective about AI taking your job. We hear these headlines like AI will enhance your job, not take it. We can work alongside machines, but then we see huge companies do massive layoffs. So we're receiving some mixed messages here. Let's navigate what's actually going on and how you can navigate really this, to steal a line from ChatGPT, ever evolving digital landscape. So before we dig into the what, we have to take a look at the why. And most of that for our global business community starts with GDP and shareholders. In the United States, we're going to take that geographical lens, the gross domestic profit, which is GDP, that's how we talk about it, in 2024 was around 27 trillion. 42 to 44%-ish of that has been going to human labor. So we're looking at 11 to 12 trillion dollars of the US GDP is investing in human labor, and that has been shrinking. Just to give you a lens into how this is shrinking, in 2001, the overall human labor piece of our GDP here in the States was about 64%. So our gross profit, right, as a country has now shifted into investments in machines, software, intellectual property, as opposed to people. Which brings me to shareholders. And a shareholder is someone who owns a piece of a company, usually by buying stock or some sort of capital investment. And this ownership gives them certain rights and financial interests. So what we think about shareholders, those are the ultimate owners of the company. When we look at bigger companies like SAP, for example, what they need to do is appease their shareholders. Those are the controlling body and entities of these bigger companies. And bottom line for these shareholders is capital is cheaper and more predictive than human labor. Since labor typically is the biggest cost to a company, as it should be, those cost-cutting measures showcase immediate gains for shareholders. Thus, they support things like AI workers, digital workers, and automation. Okay, so now let's talk about objectively the what's happening in the marketplace. Many larger industry analysts, you can say the Bains, the McKinseys, the Gartners, are saying that 30 to 50% of work hours for individual employees can be automated by these digital employees. These aren't just layoffs, though they're being called to that. They're a complete redefinition and restructuring of what jobs look like. Just from a baseline 40-hour employee that works, 2,000 hours a year, not including vacations and all of those different things, paid time off, digital workers, bots, co-pilots, LLMs, they can work because they don't sleep, right? 4,000 to 8,000 hours a year, which is over 4 times a human capacity without, the unpredictability of job markets, unionization, things like health insurance, all of those different things that come into managing a labor market. So with these layoffs, we still see companies measuring record margin because of these cost savings, which the shareholders really like because they're getting paid more dividends. So it's kind of an uncomfy truth about the how, right? And I'm always here to tell you the truth. Will AI take your job? Maybe. Yeah, maybe it will. Will you be able to be in a constant state of reinvention? That's ultimately up to you. The world is changing. There is a macroeconomic scale of the changing of the way we work. So as modern employees, we can either choose to change with it or be left behind. So what is the how? How can you address the what that is happening in the workforce? There's really kind of 2 takes we can look at here. We can look at the company and we can look at the individual. But for this purpose, I'm going to look at the individual because I'm talking to you. If you want to hear about the company, happy to do it. Just let me know in the comments. One huge misconception I see is you have to be able to code. You do not have to be able to be an AI engineer to understand what automation and AI does for the business. Though we see the world changing on this global scale, we still see only 12% of companies with a clear roadmap for AI integration. So you got to create your own roadmap so that you are going to be the leader, the highest paid employer, whatever your goal is for this new change in the marketplace. Take your workflows that you do day to day and integrate AI with them. And a lot of people overthink AI. We're talking about Excel AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, these Gen AI pieces that all link together and start to think for you. I have a digital twin of my voice. Honestly, it freaks me out because it sometimes sounds more like me than me. But at the end of the day, I know that's how I have to keep my clients being more efficient. Tactic to follow today. Go to ChatGPT. Don't put anything proprietary in ChatGPT. Find articles you've written, emails that really sound like you, upload YouTube video transcripts, and start asking it to create a voice. So you can start doing prompts like, make this email sound like me. That is a little thing that will start to open up your thinking to how do I embrace automation in my day-to-day work. I tell this to my students all the time, but we need to shift from task-based thinking, I completed A, B, and C, to outcome-based thinking, I achieved A, B, and C, because that's how we create our own personal value proposition statement. Show your leadership in data how you scaled your value. AI-obsessed organizations like I make fun of in my skits talk in terms of efficiencies, results, systems, all of these things you've kind of fast-tracked leveraging these types of tools. Use your AI to document them. Build out your workflows, put them into your AI system, your SOPs, put those in your AI system, and spend every Friday for 15 minutes training the system to continue to be more like you. Think of your digital twin as your trusty sidekick or your bestie that's helping you achieve better results faster. Are those fear-mongering headlines true? Sometimes, yeah. Are people really losing their livelihood and jobs? Absolutely. Should you die in anxiety and fear? Absolutely not. Should you start to make micro changes in your day to embrace this new way of working in automation and not get lost in your overthinking? Yes. Understanding these macroeconomics helps you really understand the why and to be able to see the clarity and direction of how these bigger global companies are moving. The ones who win are building the skills, the tools, the relationships, and the systems that make them irreplaceable.